my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for?
Then why are you on the internet airing out you and your husband's dirty laundry? Why do women feel the inherent need to get on social media, especially TikTok, and discuss such personal things? Without even finishing the video, if I was married and my wife did this to me, I would seriously consider divorce just from this one action.
But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do, right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier, because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle and it was in the dishwasher with all of the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me, because what he's done has now made me late for work.
Okay, he forgot to take the trash out. The thing is, women make mountains out of molehills. You asked him to help you do some additional work around the house. He agreed to it, and he slipped up a couple times and didn't get it done. Turn these into huge situations. And another thing, I really do not like to hear women complain about goddamn housework. Your ass is not going outside and putting a new roof on y'all crib or building another house on it. Y'all got 4 babies. You both decided to have 4 babies. Got to clean up the kitchen, blow some nose, and wipe some asses. That's what happens when you decide to be a parent. Here's another comment that I found about this exact couple. And this is just talking about this lady on the screen. Kano works from home, so in the mornings and after the workday, she's back on childcare duty. Her husband works as a utility lineman, means he can't work from home, and he often is called for storm duty. And while both Kano and her spouse make 6 figures, she said childcare is probably the thing that costs the most. So she gets to work from home. This man works on the utility line. Do you know how long those hours are and how dangerous of a job that is? We always talking about how men maintain the infrastructure. This is an example of one of those men. While you get to work home, I'm not saying men shouldn't lift a finger and help around the house. You say, by all intents and purposes, at the beginning of the video, he was all hands on deck, help with the children and all that. But again, why are you going to the internet with this? Women love attention, no matter good, bad, or indifferent.
And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me. And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic It doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here. And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family despite the fact that we never wanted to.
And also, you notice that the shade against men, the sign language, the bar for men is way down here. And I guarantee you, her husband is paying the majority of the bills in their home.
And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like?
Another thing that can ruin your relationship is your woman, your wife running to the internet every time she feels she's not getting her way.
What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage. Or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And I want people to know that there's hope and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
That video has went viral, but I know I've seen this woman before. But what it boils down to, in my opinion, is women only see the things that they do. A lot of women are just flat out selfish. Let's just keep it a buck. And they only see the things that they do themselves. They don't even acknowledge the things that their husband does. She talked about women doing a disproportionate amount of housework compared to men. Yeah, but men also do the protecting, the provision, leading of households. They only see the things that they do themselves and never consider any of the husband's actions. This clip just recently went viral, but I know I've seen this woman. It was her TikTok page. This is what I remember seeing her from last year sometime.
A few weeks ago, I said I don't do my husband's laundry. And a lot of people are saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. Those are small acts of kindness. Why wouldn't you want to do that for your partner? But here's the thing. Small acts of kindness that are mostly domestic labor just add up to work at the end of the day. So here's a list of things that I don't do for my husband. You all know I don't do his laundry. He can do that himself. I do my laundry and we do the kids' laundry, but he does his own. I don't cook dinner. He cooks dinner every single night. I do breakfast and lunch for us and our kids.
The same husband who she said she was willing to divorce because he didn't do the shit right.
I don't pack him a lunch. If he's hungry, he'll figure out what he's going to eat for lunch the same way that I do. I don't make his doctor's appointments because guess what? He's not making mine. Would it be kind of me to do that? For sure. Is it my job? Absolutely not. I want him to be healthy, but he's a grown-ass man and he can book his own appointments. Right?
And if someone breaks into your house at night, your husband should only be obligated to get your children because you're a grown-ass woman. You should be able to figure it out.
Right? There's a lot of things that I don't do for my husband. I don't schedule his haircuts. I don't pack his clothes for vacation, right? I don't do those things. I don't buy him new underwear when it's got holes in it. All of those are things that he's a grown man and he can do himself. Can I do small acts of kindness for him? Of course I can. And I do. I see a vinyl that I think he's going to like because he's creating a vinyl collection. I buy it. I'm at the store and I see something that I think he might enjoy eating. I buy it. I find a new non-alcoholic beer that he wants to try out. I buy it. Right? Those are small acts of kindness. Doing his laundry, cooking him dinner, making him lunch, booking his doctor's appointments, all those things, that's domestic labor. Those are chores. Those are not acts of kindness. Do I do them occasionally when he's working a lot? Of course.
So what if they're chores? Do them. And I've never heard of a man having his woman book his barbershop appointments. I've never heard of that. Packing vacation clothes. And even the doctor's appointment thing is a little funny. I could see a woman doing that if her husband is real resisting on going to the hospital. I can kind of see that. That other stuff I've never heard of.
Do I cook dinner sometimes when he's had a really long day? Of course. But me not doing that does not mean that I don't show him love or kindness. They're different things. It is not my job as a wife, it is not in my job description to do all the domestic labor as small acts of kindness to my partner and receive nothing in return. I agree with this commenter. If it's going both ways, fantastic. But oftentimes, domestic labor, especially when you have children, adds up. And so no, I am not my husband's personal secretary or his personal assistant. I am none of those things. I am his partner, I am his equal, and I do not have to do things to cater to him and serve him at all times, to be kind and loving for him.
What this is a disrespectful, lazy woman complaining about housework. Because it keeps going back to housework. A woman that works from home, I'm not saying she doesn't have any responsibility, and I'm not saying it's not a pain having to deal with 4 children, I'm assuming it's small. But y'all decided to take those 4 babies in the world. That's what happens. When you have all these arm babies running around, that's a choice that you and your husband decide to make. So you have no sympathy for me regarding that. This is a man who works out on the utility line. Every time there's a storm, he's going out there, climbing his ass up the utility pole, making sure our electricity lines are working in our neighborhood so we have power, we have heat. That's what he doing. She's sitting at home typing on the computer. And I happened to find this while I was editing this video. Got a little more information about her stay-at-home job. I found this on Twitter. Google her handle. She's very easy to find. Her work-from-home job is simply being an influencer. She's been busted promoting payday loan scams and openly encourages her followers to take on debt to live the lifestyle. She's a former adult online entertainer. She also has a full-time housekeeper, a full-time landscaper, and a pool boy and live-in nanny. So the whole about chores and kids is pure baloney. Meanwhile, her husband is a lineman working 60 hours a week. She's a grifter, plain and simple. And I looked her up online. I cannot confirm the adult online part that she was a cornhole star out here. I can't confirm that. But there has been multiple, dozens and dozens of tweets that have said that she does, in fact, have a live-in nanny. And her husband works on the power line. So I have confirmed those two. Don't know about the housekeeper and the landscaper, but there's been dozens and dozens of comments saying this same chick has a live-in nanny. Just food for thought. And the biggest issue I have is, why are you sharing this to the internet? She's got over 300,000 followers on TikTok. You don't respect your husband. You simply don't respect your husband. And I saw a comment here I thought was pretty good. The fact she felt she needed to post this online tells me she doesn't respect or care for her husband at all. If you love and respect someone, you don't try to shame them in front of the entire internet. Based on that alone, I guess she's probably a big part of the problem herself. Great point. And did you notice in either one of those videos, she ever say what was her problem? Did she mention one time, hey, I could probably do a better job at X, or I could probably do a better job at Y or Z? No, it's her husband, who's amazing, who did everything for her, admitted at the very start of the first video, before she said but, admitted that he helped out in every fashion. But it comes back to domestic work, man. You know, lazy and disrespectful women. And I'm shocked that he haven't left her yet. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do better, squad. Fall out.